Hey again. So I'm going to do another case of a missing persons. Again, I didn't really watch the news today. I'll show you the time and the date in a minute. But today I'm going to do this young man, Jelani Day. He's 25. He was a graduate student, going to be a speech pathologist. So that's Jelani Day. His mom was in the news because it's October 17th, 11/27, Sunday. So his mom was in the news because, you know, he had gone missing on, and when I usually look at maybe a video and maybe read an article on a case, and then I just doodle. I couldn't think of the word. Some notes, you know, as I'm going along, things that pop out to me. So I guess he was missing on 8/24/2021, and he was found 4 days later. Well, he was found on 9/24. Okay, anyway, I thought it was only 4 days, but that one makes sense. Okay, yeah, and sometimes the articles have the wrong dates and stuff like that. So, that's just what I wrote down. So anyway, his name is Jelani Day, and he is a graduate student, like I said, going to school in Illinois for speech pathology as a graduate student. However, he lives in Indiana, I believe. His mom caused a ruckus and did a few interviews. I only saw one, just saying that because of the Gabby Petito case, like why, because she's thinking her son is black, he didn't get as much media attention. I mean, I did see it on the news, that's why I remembered it, but definitely not as much as Gabby Petito. But you know, there's different reasons for that. It's because she was in social media, and she was not to mention her being white and a female and blonde and blue eyes, but she was part of the social media community. So of course, you know, that person probably would get more exposure than someone who does not have like a YouTube channel or is not part of a community like the van life, the no man's community. That's a big community. So in the camping community itself, because it happened on a camping trip. So I think it's not only that she's white, but needless to say, the mom was like, why doesn't my son get as much attention? So she didn't trust the police that handled the case, and that could just be, you know, cultural thing, not trusting the police, or just feeling that because they weren't giving her answers, they had to do a lot of investigation on their own, her and her sons and daughters, you know, the children, the siblings, and so they searched for him on their own and felt that they weren't getting a much police assistance. So they have, the last surveillance they have of him is going into, okay, the story is he was supposed to meet with a advisor that on whatever morning it was, to go over, you know, his schoolwork. Maybe I don't know if he was going to give a speech or something to that effect, going over the schoolwork with an advisor, and he didn't show up, which is kind of out of character for them, I think they said. However, and I think it was the University of Illinois, one of the Illinois universities, that he was going to school where he was supposed to go in that day and meet with the advisor. So he didn't show up. And then he also was going to meet with a client later that day, like a practice client for speech therapy. And he didn't show up for that client. So that's when this advisor got worried, or teacher or whoever got worried about him. However, they found surveillance of him further away. Well, first they had a picture of him that day that he was going in to see his advisor. He had a blue shirt on and dress pants, all dressed up. So the advisor was worried. She sent out a call to the security, like, this guy's missing. It's not like him. And anyway, eventually it got back to the mother. Not that the school called her, but somehow she found out, and then they did the search for him, and she felt the police weren't helpful. Anyway, they found him on a surveillance video at a cannabis clinic or store, walking in to purchase cannabis, which, you know, people can do that and stuff like that. However, he had on different clothes. He had a t-shirt and shorts, jean shorts, I think, or tan shorts, I don't know. I can look at the picture if you really need to know. But anyway, he had a different outfit on that same day versus what he was seen in school with. And the mom didn't think those were his clothes. You know, of course, you know, kids at college, he can go out and buy new clothes, but so she's not positive, but she just didn't remember those being his clothes. So he went into the cannabis store, and you see him on a camera, and you see him looking up. So they're assuming that's him. Okay, and 4 days later, that was the last sighting of him. 4 days later, approximately, that he was found in a river or a body of water. Okay, deceased. His car was found further away in, I think, Peoria, Illinois, in a secluded area that they said you wouldn't even known it was there unless you live in the town, you know. So, and the license plates were removed, so his car was found abandoned there. So let's say here was the cannabis store, over here was the body of water that his body was found, and way up here in Peoria, and you can look it up, Google it, it shows the map, you know, was where his car was found without the license plates, I suspect. I think I read that. So anyway, so I looked at the interview, and I read an article. And what I always do, like I had mentioned before, when I was an employer, I looked up Facebook. You know, I looked up Facebook on people. So, and the family, if they see this, they are not going to like this. I hope I do not get any threats. They're not going to like what my intuitive hit was. And part of me is like, should I even be doing these things? Because I don't know if things have come to fruition yet with the Brian Laundrie case, with the Christopher Ramirez case, you know, and Summers Wells. So I'm like, should I just wait for things to, you know, process through to see if I'm hitting correctly with my intuitive hits? But I keep getting these cases that keep popping up on my news feed and keep calling to me, and I'm like, well, because every time I do one, I'm like, okay, so I don't have to do anything for a while. And then someone else gets missing and pops up on my news feed and calls to me. So I'm like, I'll just keep doing them, because then if I do have some kind of correct intuitive hits, and then we'll at least have like a base to show how accurate I am, because I am, you know, I said I'm not professional at this as far as searching psychically for people who are missing or deceased or medium. However, I'm just trying to, again, enhance my muscle, my third eye muscle, so that maybe I can help people. So this is the only way I know how to do it, to calculate, not calculate, to do the hypothesis and see if my theories are correct and my conclusion. Okay, like I'm doing a hypothesis paper. So anyway, his brother and him look very similar. Okay, he was last spotted on video going into a cannabis store and in different clothes. He looked up to the camera. He had a ball cap on, baseball cap on, and he looked up, and people were like, "Oh, he's trying to send a signal. He's trying to, you know, say I'm in trouble." He's looking up at the camera. I didn't take that as that. I took it as, I think it was his brother. Okay, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna have haters. I think it was his brother that went into the cannabis store to get some, maybe Jelani has a cannabis card, or is, you know, whatever you would get, medical marijuana card, or at least is in that system for that store. So the brother went in posing as his brother. So his brother's name is Steve, S-E-V-E. So Steve went in posing as Jelani in a friend's clothes. So it wasn't Steve's clothes, it wasn't Jelani's clothes. And the reason I'm pointing on the clothes is because the clothes that were worn going into this cannabis store were found in the car. So he may have been found in the lake naked, you know, but I'd be curious if he had any clothes on him when he was found in the body of water. So my first intuitive hit was the first article. I saw a picture of the family, and I saw a couple pictures of the family, and the brother, Steve, stood out to me. He stood out to me. He looks a lot like his brother Jelani. Jelani was up and coming. He was going to be a professional. He was in the medical field. He was going to be a speech pathologist. His mother and him were obviously very bonded. There was a lot of pictures of them together, of them smiling. You could see the close relationship with Jelani, the missing youth who's 25, and his mother. You could see the bond of the relationship. In the family photo, everybody was smiling but Steve. I also saw another picture of mom and Jelani. I think it was a graduation, and you can see, I think it was Steve in the background, having no facial expression. You know, like he was behind the picture of the two standing there smiling. So he called out to me. And I will apologize up front if I'm totally wrong about this kid, Steve. I'm just basing on my intuitive hit, okay? So he is the one, he is a student, he is the sibling who helped start the search, who talked to the police, and who identified the body, okay? Then I did watch 2 interviews. So I watched an interview of Steve talking to, I don't know who, but he was saying how his, we're searching for his brother, we're not getting much attention. He had mentioned, I forget what words he used, but he mentioned that his brother was like the better one versus him. He was the better. I think because they look so similar, he was just saying, but he was the better one. So I caught that mention of what he said. I probably should have looked up this exact sentence that he said, so that stood out to me. He also is at the forefront of finding his brother and finding what happened to his brother. Well, who else would be at the forefront as a ruse to be the first to find out the information, be the first on the scene? You see those movies where the guy that seems interested is just trying to track the police and see where they've come, but really it's like in plain sight who the offender is right in front of you. So that's kind of the gist that I got. And this means nothing, but again, on his Facebook, he's called Danger, in parentheses. And if you look at his pictures, I wonder if they had the date of birth. I should have seen what sign he was. But he's very debonair. He looks like a bad boy. He looks like he wants to look cool, maybe a little bit conceited. He's kind of good looking. He has these, handsome gigolo player vibe photos of looking sexy and looking cool with his homeboys. Definitely a little more street than the brother looked. I tried to look up Jelani, the one who's missing, his Facebook, but it's down. So I only saw pictures of him in I wonder if I could find it, in a suit. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can find a picture of him in a suit. Okay. Okay, well, here was the shirt. So you can't really make out, you know, I guess maybe a mother would know her own child, but you can't really make out which kid it is, because they do look so similar. Let me do images. Oh, okay, so here is the image of Jelani Day, who's missing. You know, in a suit, a professional, in a medical outfit. You know, there's him and his mom, if you could see that, you know, very close. And there was another picture kind of like that where I saw the save in the background, kind of with no expression. So what I'm getting at is when the mom did an interview, you know, she didn't mention why her son was at a cannabis store. You know, through the whole interview. So I kind of think that maybe should have been mentioned. Like, did he have fibromyalgia where he had a medical marijuana card? Did he, you know, like to relax a little bit from all his exams, from his graduate degree work? You know, I think I would have acknowledged that, because I think, you know, other people might think like, oh, he's a druggie, you know, he's not all that, he does drugs, you know, people who aren't as flexible in this medical marijuana or legal marijuana issues, you know, people that aren't as open-minded. So I thought that was kind of curious that she didn't mention why he was there. So I think it would have been helpful to know if he had went there before, because I kind of said it was a distance from the college, so why was he there? I just would have mentioned, like, I either don't know why he was there, it was suspicious that he was there, or yes, he goes there because he... Amelia, what are you doing? Sorry, my dog's in the cat cage. So I thought that was kind of suspicious. Now I totally understand the mom's frustration with the police, she feels, did not do the best job. I know if my child was missing, I'd want, you know, every department in the state on the missing persons case. So I empathize with that. I feel that. Where was I going with that? Let's see. Oh, so she also didn't trust the autopsy that was done. Basically, they feel that the cops hid something or is hiding something. Maybe in their mind they're thinking that he got pulled over and it was, you know, driving while black, you know, issue where he got shot and they disposed of him. But, you know, they could have just done that on a police stop like they do with everybody. No one had to dump him in a body of water. So I'm not quite sure what they think the police did, but they think it's suspicious that they think the police are trying to cover up something. I think if the police were trying to cover up something, I don't think they would go to the extent of bringing him to a body of water and dumping him in the body of water. Now, another curious thing is when they found the body, the genitals were removed. Okay? Someone out there has a harvesting theory. I don't know how that works, you know, whatever. I don't think that is anything. So, because they didn't trust the police, they also didn't trust the autopsy. So they had another autopsy done, and they're now seeking a third autopsy. The second autopsy, which was the one they did find the cannabis in his system, caffeine, nicotine, you know. I didn't see any pictures of him smoking. Again, his Facebook's down. I tried to look under the brother to see if he was a smoker. But hey, you know, some people just smoke, like if they're out of the bar. You know, if they've had a drink, they might take a smoke outside. So that's no big thing. But he did have the cannabis in his system. But again, so do many people. So that was the toxicology report. So, what I'm thinking, what my theory was Oh, and then the brother Save, who I think is the suspect, viewed the body and was like, I can't, the body's so decomposed, and I guess they say water can do that. He's like, the body's so decomposed, I can't tell if that's my brother, and there's no genital, there's no, penis, so maybe it's a woman. How do I know that's him? So Save is the one who's doing all this for the family, being the upfront guy, checking the body, trying to identify the body. He's doing it. Why isn't another brother? Why isn't the mother? Why isn't the father? Now, the mother did mention something about them thinking that Jelani, who was found deceased, had depression or mental issues, and she's like, no, he did not have that. And I hate when cops do that. I hate when cops or teachers or medical professions rush to judgment of they're depressed or they have ADD. I just hate the rush to that. And so did the mom. She's like, just because the father has some mental kind of issues, and she didn't say what, that they assumed that Jelani did. And she was like, no, he didn't, he was okay. However, I'm thinking Save might have inherited whatever mental illness this might have been that runs in the family. So he was like, I can't identify the body because I don't know if it's him, And I guess the head was shaved also, and then again the genitals were removed. So all that being said, what I came up with was that, and I'm going to check with the cards because I can't pinpoint the story as vividly as I've done some of the other stories. However, I feel that it was more than 2 or 3 people that were involved in the disappearance of Jelani Day. His brother being a player in all this. I think Save put on one of his friend's clothes, or his friend's brother's clothes, whatever would fit him, acted as if he was Jelani going in to get the medical marijuana. Maybe prior to that, they met with Jelani and bullied him, did something to him. I'd be wondering about the cause of death. How did he die? Was he strangled? Was he shot? Was he... Cause I didn't see that come out. I just saw that the autopsy with the toxicology report, or at least I read, and that the genitals were missing. Which tells me if the genitals are missing, it's like kind of sort of like a crime of passion, a crime of a sexual nature, like someone cheated on them, or stole their girlfriend, or had sex with their girlfriend, to get them back, we're going to cut off the pee-pee, so I feel that maybe Save, I feel there's a lot of jealousy for his brother Jelani, I'm feeling intuitively. And maybe Jelani was getting the attention of women or girls that Save wanted. Maybe he even slept with someone Save wanted, or one of Save's friends wanted, or was a girlfriend, or something to that effect, where they killed him and they cut off first they cut off the genital to teach him a lesson, and then they killed him. And then on the way to dump the car, first they dumped him in the water, then they went and they dumped the car. So I would be wondering if Save knows anyone that lives in the Peoria area, or if his friends, you might have to go down a chain, a friend of a friend of a friend who lives in that area to know, because I said you wouldn't know where this place was where the car was left unless you lived in that area. which makes sense because I know there's lots of places, you know, that people wouldn't even, like, you wouldn't even know to go down this road that doesn't even look like a road to get to a certain park or place that people go and drink or, you know, have sex at night or, you know, smoke or do whatever, like a secret place. So there are secret places all over, so I get that. And whereas a stranger wouldn't go down this road where they wouldn't even know. It might even be like a person's driveway, so they're not going to go down that road. So you had to know, had to be a person in the area that knew where to dump the car. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it was the brother who was, there was jealousy, there was envy, and it just happened. Okay, so let's see if I can get anything from the cards that can clarify or unclarify my theory. So I'm just going to ask overall, because I'm not getting as specific as I did, like I said, with other cases. But I'm just going to ask, what was the cause? What led to Jelani Day being deceased? What led to his demise? Please, angels, guys, please allow the honest messages to come through for those who seek with me as a guidance, as a channel, for the highest good of all. Thank you. Can you tell me anything about Jelani Day? Okay, I think that's too many. I think I dropped it. Okay, alright. Try again. Okay, thank you. I'll take those two. Alright, so we have, is that the Ten of Wands? Yeah, the Ten of Wands. Okay. Whoa, okay. So let's just see what we have first. We have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands. On this card, it's teaching these children a lesson. Ten of Wands. Remember I said teaching him a lesson by cutting off his pee-pee? It's about teaching a lesson. We have the Queen of Swords. Queens are, yeah, phoenixes in this case. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. Okay, I need to look at that card a little longer. We have the Queen of Swords. Well, that could be the mother wanting to get to the truth. Then we have the Eight of Swords. Yes. All right. Okay, you see there's a rose in here. So there is pink rose is love. He was bound. Okay, and he was stabbed, possibly stabbed. But he was kept a prisoner for a day, a couple hours, whatever. And it all had to do with, remember I said the lovers. There was a love triangle. A crime of passion, a crime of, is that, yeah, love, crime of passions. And someone saw it. Either Save or a friend. See? The guy in the back saw him with someone. And Save was like, you got my mom, you got everybody thinking you're the best man in the world, and now you're taking my girl. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. This is normally when they assess the situation. However, in this Seven of Pentacles, it's the same. It's like, if if you could see, this guy is pointing in the sand, and so is this guy. So I'm teaching you a lesson. Sorry, the camera went off. So whoever he slept with may have gotten pregnant, which really flipped the offender out. And his mom, the Queen of Swords, is standing on this building, which is authority. She is just trying to get the authority to reveal the truth of all this. But it was about teaching a lesson. Do you see the boys in the background? Remember I said there was three people did this to Jelani? He was held captive and he was cut. The genitals were cut off. He is possibly stabbed to death. It was over a lover situation. And it was about 7 of Pentacles, assessing. Maybe they planned it. Well, obviously they planned it. They had to plan it. It just didn't happen. Where's my little booklet? Oh, here. Okay, I just want to look at the 7 of Pentacles to see what else it can call to me and tell me. Seven. Young man. Okay. It's contradictory. This card is about money, business, bartering, trading, a quarrel. Someone's innocent, but there was a quarrel. And purgation. Is that purgatory? Purgation. Okay, purgation. Let me look up that word. Okay, so hang on, I'll look it up. Hang on. And this is why I look in the book, because again, it's called cartomancy, bibliomancy, where you're called to look up a sentence. It's not like I didn't know what the 7 of Pentacles was, but I was calling myself to a sentence. And this is what purgation means: the purgation by ritual violence of morbid social emotions. Yeah, a ritual of violence. The act of purging. Okay. Purging the body. It also could be purifying. But, yeah. So, I don't know if him and his friends are into any kind of ritual violence. Right now it's just calling, they kind of seem a little old, but it's calling me to like gangbangers, because I've said it in a past video, but I was an adult probation officer for years, and I was a juvenile probation officer for years. And part of the initiation for gang members to get into a gang was you either rape someone, you steal a car, you gang rape someone. That's what they did to be initiated into a gang. And to get out of a gang, they had to be beat severely by everybody in the gang member. So I guess not a lot get out of the gang, but you have to do an act of violence basically to be initiated. So I don't know that, but that's what's calling to me. It's like a gang initiation that they've done or did in the past, maybe when they were younger. So they were doing this to the brother, Jelani Day, over a love interest. Yeah, so that's what I'm coming up with. We'll use these. Anything else that you want to tell us about this? Spirit, anything else you could tell us? Again, if Save didn't do it, I feel like he knows who did. He had some part in it. And we have the Joker. Okay, it says no. Joker. Joker to me, it can be the fool or a trickster. A fool. I mean, a new beginning. Like, no, you're not going to have a new beginning. You're done. And we have the Jack of Hearts, which is the Knight of Cups. And remember I said Save seemed to me like he is the Don Juan. He is the sexy one. He is, he's going to win with the women. Knight of Cups. Riding quietly. Feeling at higher graces. It's his demeanor, and that's what I saw on his Facebook. His demeanor was like of the Knight of Cups. Okay, yeah, and in the reverse, the Knight of Cups is trickery, fraud, swindling. Yep. So Jelani, it was no, not going to have a new beginning in his life. He was on the road to success. No, that wasn't going to happen. And because I am the king, I am the one, I am jealousy, I am going to teach you a lesson. So that's what I have in that case. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. I hope I come out to be wrong. I hope they come out to that they find who did it, that they find out the cause of death, that it was not a close family member, that it was not a brother, his brother. However, with the genitals being removed, it tells me that it's something very personal. That there was again, the lovers did come out, and it was something very personal. So I'm going to cleanse this deck. I have one more to do. I did see something about a little girl. I took my little scribble notes, and I'm going to look her up on Facebook to get more of a read. There wasn't a lot on this case with this little girl in Australia. So I will do that next if I can get any more hits on anything. Well, I've already got hits on it intuitively, but just to dive deeper. Again, please comment if you know of these cases or this case. Please comment on what you think happened. You know, everybody has their opinion. Everybody has the right to free speech and to have an opinion. And again, I apologize ahead of time if I am wrong. To the family, to the mother specifically, because you don't want to having lost one child, which is heart-wrenching, to have your other baby, your other child be the one that led to your other baby's demise. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, that would just be awful. So I really hope I'm not true. I hope I'm not right. But take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.